Okay, guys, this is going to be the second time I've tried to do this. We're going to do scene Act 2, Scene 6B. Oh, who is that? Okay, and then, but I got to tell you that before I tried to do this before, but my wife had brought me home a cheeseburger, so I had to stop business and go eat my cheeseburger. Anyway, here we go. This is it. This is where the whole show changes from a nice little addiction show to something that's really profound, really devastating, really going to drop this home to the audience. A lot of this is rests on a couple of things. Jessica has to make the Z has to make the audience like her, worry about her. They have to give her. She has to be someone they root for. I'm not sure that the script allows that much, but Jessica being Jessica, that should be a low bar to jump over, because everybody loves her. I love her, and the audience is going to love her. So, and then we're going to stab him in the back. How's that? And then the other thing is addiction and hope. That's the three main people in the scene. A couple of things about that. Now remember, addiction is working really, really hard to destroy people. That's what addiction does. We're going to anthropomorphize addiction, then we're all in. And so she has to be devious and mean and manipulative and thrilled to death when Z dies. No sorrow, no nothing, a quick chuckle, whatever. And then we have to remember, what does Hope want from the scene? What is Hope trying to achieve? Of course, she's going to be mourning Z, but what is it that Hope is trying to get to? Is it, why does she take the drugs that just killed Z? Is it release, or is it guidance, or is it escape? Why does she do that? There's a lot of different reasons she could do it, but what is Hope's motivation? And Jasmine, that you're going to find that's going to be some tough stuff. So we need to really bring the house down. So don't be afraid to hug Z, and hold her and mourn her and really shed a tear about it. And addiction, just make sure all this deep emotions going on, you're aloof, you're plotting, you're thinking, okay, I got one, how can I get the other? I got one, how can I get the other? I've had a great night tonight, how can I make it 2 for 1? 2 for 1 night. Okay, so I know it sounds a terrible thing. These are all terrible things to say, but we are in the drama business, and if we're in the reality business, we'd be documentarians, but we're actors and directors and writers, so we got to really give it to the audience, because that's what they came for. All right, so here we go. As you know, this is the stage. Just so you know, you've been looking at these. This is a Mountain Dew can that the guy working on the curtain left down there yesterday. Okay, well, let's review the bidding of where we are. Scene Act 2, Scene 6 Alpha ends with addiction, Hope, and Jordan going down here because something hopeful has just occurred. They've had some slight banter. There's a moment. There is a little teensy-weensy glimmer of light in the conversation between Hope and Jordan. Okay. All right. So let's start. Without too much time, when Hope, when they have a blackout, I think this is the only time in the whole show where there is a mid scene blackout with Hope talking. So when we are going to start this, we're going to start with an empty stage. Also sans the can. So when the lights come on, there's nothing there. And then Z comes on. And then comes addiction. So Z comes center stage. or actually up to the bench that will be there. Oh no, there will be a bench here, a bench, and addiction. You don't have to sit on the bench with her right just away, right away. You could probably be over here somewhere or over here somewhere, but right now, all the weight of this whole scene is going to be on Z, and Jessica needs to really mind some deep, deep, deep pain she once had, and hopefully, okay, so you can recall that and use that to her advantage. So Z goes together, and then Z enters the stage. I mean, Z is talking about how much, how cold it is out there, how quiet it is out there, and then a good friend, Addiction, comes over, and she just begins manipulating her. Oh, that man gave you the money to help. That man gave you the money to be comfortable. Nothing be comfortable, then you're getting stoned. No, remember, it's not like you're starting to use again. You've been clean for 3 years, and she just starts luring her in ever so slightly, ever so gently, and then Z takes the picture out, and then Addiction. It's up to you, but I would think you would want to, after you get done that, you'd move over here. Okay, then Z takes the picture out, and when she says, "I still think of you every day," you slowly walk over to her, go, "Oh," and you're like, you are like consoling her. You're in so much pain. It's so terrible. But heroin always takes the edge off. And you pull out the heroin, and you pull out the paraphernalia needed to take the drug. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can simulate a snorting of heroin. I'm not sure people do that. Or what I think is more, this would be more devastating, is to actually have the whole ceremony of putting something in a spoon, lighting it, and having a syringe, and then what's the name? Z takes off her shoe and tries to inject the drugs in between her toes, and that is so intimate and so penetrating and so devastating. I think it'd be wonderful for the audience. All right, so she does that. She takes the drugs out, and then so much, almost a lot of this here for the next 2 or 3 minutes is going to be unspoken. You're going to have to get high and get there, and all of a sudden you realize, oh boy, this is not going well. And then all of a sudden, Z Addiction just goes, "Oh, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." And then you slump over, and by this time, Addiction's on the bench with you. "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." And you slump over in her arms, and she giggles a little. Okay, and then you hear, and then from what else? Then Hope comes in, and she's and she sees what's going. She sees what's going on, and she runs to Z. Now she can be on either the left or the right, or it doesn't really matter. If she decides to go to the most direct line, then Addiction, you need to get the heck out of the way somehow and begin your walk around here. So when Hope gets to her, says, "I love you, I miss you. Oh, see, it's so sad. You got to be strong. I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you." At some point, my dear friend, you need to come in here and take the drugs from where Z had spilled them. So we didn't have to work out where they are. I think they'll probably be on her stage right side. And then you'll take him up, you'll pick him up, and you'll give him, and that's what you'll use to taunt Hope. Okay? Then you can say, "Well, this is so sad. This is so sad. But this will ease your pain." Then you start the same thing over and over again. That you start coaxing Addiction. I mean, coaxing Hope into it, and then you get it, and then she takes the drugs. It might be too time consuming. We need to figure out a good way to take the drugs. Either snorting. I like the injection thing, but it might be too timely, and we'll lose some spontaneity. Well, spontaneity, we'll have to play with that. Either way, the audience has to see it, and so they can be devastated by it. Not devastated. See, oftentimes when there's a drug thing, there's a certain ceremonial aspect of it. There is the chopping up. There is the making of the lines. There is the snorting of the powder. All those things. It's almost like a funeral service or some kind of sacramental service. So we're going to have a addiction be the high priestess of death in this thing, for lack of a better term. And these two congregants are going to die. Or at least one's going to die, and one's going to come very, very close. So that's what. So when that happens, just do it. You're younger than her. You'll be fine. And then she takes the drugs. And then a dirge will come in. The music will play, and that is the end of the scene. Okay, this is. I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. It is super important that we make this as hard, as tough as we can. It really is, because that is going to set the audience up for the hopefulness of Jordan and Hope, but also make like some kind of, I don't know, foreshadowing is the wrong word, but it'll do, for when Hope and Jordan have that whole emotional thing of breathe, one those breathing exercises, which are actually a metaphor for love and sex and relationships. So you have the high priestess of death, addiction, ushering the congregants to death, close to it, and then you have Hope, Jordan rather, who's kind of like some kind of salvation vehicle that's going to guide Hope into the good life. But it all each of these balance each other out. So that's it. I don't know what else to say other than tell you that. And so it's going to take a lot of courage to do this. And I appreciate your efforts in this. Bye.